I was sitting thinking earlier about mindfulness and presence, and how there's lots of mindfulness training going on and presence training, etc., going on, and it reminded me of a lesson in humility, I suppose, and presence and forgiveness that I um, received from my 4-year-old granddaughter about 6 years ago. I had gone into town to pick her up from nursery, and so walked up the lane, put her in the car, strapped her in, climbed in the car, and I was just driving, started to drive through the town, and I'd driven 100, maybe 200 yards, and she was chatting away in the back of the car, and I was trying to think about something, and as I became more annoyed with her distracting me, I verbally shouted at her, lashed out at her verbally, and then realised what I had done and how inappropriate it was. And so I kind of half glanced over towards the back seat and said to her, "I'm sorry, I should never have shouted at you." And her immediate response was, "That's okay, Grandad." But it was the innocence and purity and kind of unpremeditated kind of spirit in which she offered the forgiveness that almost had me in tears. That her innocence, the purity, the beauty, the humility, the forgiveness that was in there. In fact, I don't even think it was forgiveness, because I don't think she'd actually judged me and made me wrong, made me bad. And it was just a beautiful moment in the sense that I became annoyed because I had wanted to stay with where I was in my thoughts, which was elsewhere. And I get, we need to think about stuff. But in that moment of being there with my granddaughter, she, by talking to me, was calling me into presence. And I hadn't realised that essentially, and obviously not deliberately, but nonetheless, calling me into being present in the moment with her. And I was distracted and caught up elsewhere. So I had then shouted at her, but she had then been the one that taught me the lesson in humility, and pulled me back into presence. But then it was also the forgiveness, the pure innocence and forgiveness that was there was beautiful. And obviously, that, as I say, it was 6 years ago, and I remember it to this day. It was such a beautiful moment, but specifically relevant because it's the child that teaches us, not us that teach the child in many cases.